That is some shirt you got on there.
Tell me about it. Thought I'd bring him back out again. They've been sat in the cupboard for quite a while. So I thought I'd bring him back out. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 3 of ACCSimSeries. It's the bronze split. We're here at Spa-Francorchamps for the midway point, essentially, of season 4. And I'm lucky enough to be joined by, well, the sexiest man in esports. It's Paul Glover. How are you doing, Paul?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you, Dan. It's been a busy week at work, and I'll be honest, I'm feeling it a little bit tired this week, but generally I'm doing okay. I've had the sniffle, so I've been keeping myself to myself because you never know whether it's the
Yeah, you never know whether it's the germs or not. So
or whether
yeah.
it's something I don't want to be passing on to the elderly. So been sticking to myself the last few days.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the hair's definitely getting longer and the belly's definitely getting bigger.
Yeah, I'm trying to do
So
something about the belly. I recently bought a Peloton, um, so because I can't go to the gym, I had to do something. Otherwise, I was going to go stir crazy. And like you say, it's very easy to pile on those pounds, isn't it?
yeah, well, started a new job, which meant that my step count went from 12,000 a day down to maybe 40 a day. Uh, so it's
Yeah,
getting when I get into that rhythm of getting the new job settled in, then we can maybe look to get on a bit of couch to 5K or something like that. But anyway, enough about the two sexiest men in esports,
fitness.
myself and
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah.
We're on to some motorsport and some sim racing in particular, and let's bring the championship table up. Let's have a little look. Let's turn this one off. Oh, and I'll turn that one on. Here we go. There we go. The championship table's up in our little screen to our left, and you can see Baldetto there sitting pride of place at the top of the table on 70 points. Now, himself and Sorensen are sharing 2 wins apiece in the tier 6. So it's to the bottom of the bronze ones, the amateurs, the red badges. I think they'll be battling it out this evening going around Spa. What do you think?
Yeah, potentially. I'm just watching practice times, looking at the times, and Nemeth is fast. I don't know uh,
Yeah, Sorensen looks like
where the others
11th.
are.
Baldetto's down in like 20th. Baldetto seems
Yeah, I
to be
mean
struggling a
it's
little
only
bit.
practice, of course, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean the Lambo Duret I'd be expected to be pretty fast around here. Anybody in the Lexus has got a strong chance around here as well, as we know.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the Aston Martins as well is like keenly one of the easiest cars to keep that
Yeah.
foot flat to the floor going through Eau Rouge and Radion. So we'll have to see if they can take advantage. Let's put the table into tiers. So we start at tier 6. So the AMs in the bronze class. Like I said, Baldetto and Sorensen there sitting on 2 wins apiece. Dave Wirch also definitely up there competing with the best of the rest. And as we go further and further down the table, it's good to see that everyone's got some points on the board. And Webb and Benson they're sitting at the bottom of the table with 2 and 6 points respectively. Need to butt their ideas up a little bit. I've seen Webb's cast today. It's no longer champagne brown. It's now just completely black by the looks of it. So that meme's gone out the window. But yeah, I mean it's good to see. Let's go and have a little look at our pros for our uh, bronze split. And who surprised you the most this season so far?
Uh, oh, I don't know really, because I don't really know the drivers all too well. I mean, Neves has been driving pretty consistently, pretty well. I mean, last time out, he probably could have done a little bit better in. I think it was in race one. Long's been going strong, and so has Behan and Haller, of course. And and the man that I say is that the best the man can get, Duret. Just because it sounds like Gillette for me
Oh,
anyway.
that's the pun.
That's the plan. Yeah. Rather than the brand of condoms. Yeah, no. I think all 5 of those guys have been going well. But then you got Ray Burt sort of sitting there pretty in 6, so he's been pretty consistent so far as well. So I think he'll be pretty pleased with his season up to this point. I mean, I don't know about you, Dan, but I mean, last time, I mean, some of the driving that we saw last time out around Nürburgring, I think we touched on it a few times during the commentary. Drivers, we've literally 2 minutes gone off the clock, so 27, 28 minutes, are making these moves that are just putting the end to their race and everybody else's. And around Spa, where there's quite a few places, especially for Eau Rouge and Radion, where you've got a lot, and then you come down the Kemmel, and then you've got heavy braking
Yeah,
zones. There are opportunities to make those moves, but you only really want to make them when they're actually on, and not try to force it. And touched on it last week. These drivers, it is a rookie league, and they are in the broadcast in tier 5, tier 6, but they've got to learn. They've got to learn pretty quickly.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and that for me, I'm being honest, that's the improvement I'm looking for.
Yeah, certainly. I think, like we said, when we've got the GT start or the GT green light line essentially at the bottom of Eau Rouge, it's always in every split from tier 6 all the way up to tier won, and the Invitational guys, they're all going to run into problems. I mean, if we look at it through examples, and we've seen the memes going around of the SimGrid uh, multi-class race yesterday that took place, in which 66% of the field didn't even make it past the green light because one car decided to go free wide, and everyone else has piled into it. I mean, if you've not seen that meme, feel free to check
I've
it
not
out.
actually seen that.
You need
Seen
to
that yet. But,
you
I
need
mean,
to have yeah.
someone said in the because I said to the drivers, "How you feeling about it?" And people are like, send it, send it. But you know what? Somebody's like, "You just got to brake." You haven't got to brake for the first bit. You just got to lift off, because if you brake, you cause a concertina
Yeah,
effect, and that's the danger. Then whilst you might be safe, you're causing havoc for the guys behind. All it needs is just slotting behind each other.
yeah,
Because if you're close to that car ahead of you as you go up a rouge, and you're on the coming straight, you've got slipstream. Like you,
yeah,
you,
definitely.
you don't throw it away. Don't ruin your hours of practice. Or in Webb's case, he's probably only done a few minutes, but um,
Yeah, I mean,
and
definitely. I mean, these guys, like I said, they'll need to learn where when they can start to push. And I mean, we're 3 rounds in now. Like, they should be starting to get
yeah.
comfortable with the other drivers on the grid. They should be able to know where the limit they can push, and the limit where it's safe to pass or where it's not safe to pass, and they should start to gather that understanding. So hopefully, obviously, we've got quite a spaced out track today, and if drivers are having to pit twice or pick up drive-throughs or pick up big time penalties for making mistakes, I mean, it's going to be punished in the pit stop today, especially with
Oh, I
that
mean,
with that long pit
oh,
entry and pit exit.
it's the
They're going to be
worst, isn't it? It
exactly
is.
there.
I mean, everybody says it every single time. So it is like putting on a record and just leaving it in the corner of the room, just spinning around, playing the same thing again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it. The pit lane's long. We get it. I've heard it enough, enough, enough. Stop it. Stop going on about it. It is what it is. Deal with it.
Exactly. So
Hashtag
it
deal with it. Yeah.
hashtag deal with it. So exactly, we're just coming to the end of free practice now. Our drivers are just getting the last couple of laps in, and we'll head over and to qualify. Let us know how you're getting on in the chat. It's good to see 3 or 4 new faces in here this evening. Complimenting my shirt as ever. Like I said, like to bring the big guns out when we can. And yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Like I said, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. If you've got Twitch Prime, then make sure to drop it on the channel and support. Get yourself some really nice emotes that you can use. So qualifying's about to start. Let's head our way over to that. Let's just get everything sorted on my end so we can actually see some wonderful faces. And who are you looking forward to perform in this qualifying session?
Uh, I'm. I think Duret's got to be up there in the Lambo.
Definitely.
Neves might struggle a little bit in the Porsche. I'm expecting some good. I mean, people tell me the Bentley's good round here, but I mean, I'm driving the Bentley, and I'll be honest, I'm struggling with it, especially up Eau Rouge. I just can't. I'll do like I just keep throwing it away, and I feel like with the Aston and the Ferrari, no issues whatsoever. But then actually, when I really honest with myself, when I first jumped in the Ferrari, I was also terrible with it. So tomorrow is hours and hours of practice for me, because I want to give myself a better showing than what I have so far.
Yeah,
So
I'll be
yeah,
honest, I haven't had a single chance to get out on the track this week at Spa. I mean, I know the track a little bit here and there, so that saves, like, it's not like I'm learning a completely new track, but yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those where
it's a different car, though. That's what gets me. It's
Hmm.
you learn the braking points, and as we know, the Aston particularly is good on the brakes, not so good out of the corners. Is where I feel like the Ferrari's a bit of an all rounder, really for me. It's not particularly great at any aspect, but I'm struggling with the Bentley at every track I've been at so far, and it may be the case where actually, you know what, I need to stick with it for another season or two and just do more races in it, and just rather than throwing the towel, even though I really want to throw in the towel.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a case. I mean, like I said, I think season 1 I drove the Lexus. Season 2 I had a tackle with the Ferrari, and I actually really enjoyed it, but couldn't get my teeth sunk into it enough, and then just fallen back into the comfortable Aston and gone for the approach of, well, I'm just going to go for a car that I want to learn from start to finish. I want to learn how to push, where to push, when not to push, in all the conditions. So I'm just going to stick with one now. And like I said, you're going to put a couple of seasons in the Bentley, and it might prove favour. I mean, we've seen some of the
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
especially some of the
I mean,
invitational guys, put in absolutely rapid times in that car. So it's definitely got the pace there.
Oh yeah, yeah, it has. And when you see people posting times in the chat, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing like a 2:22, 2:23. I'm like, oh my god, I'm way off the pace, which I know
I've
I
seen
ain't.
one
But
of those. I've seen them. I know exactly which one you're on about, and that's the other Bentley driver reportedly doing 2:17s. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right, so
yeah.
we're going to get the first car out for their flying lap. Just trying to find, just on him. I clicked on the
Here
button
we
and it
go.
just appears. So it's Victor
Yeah,
Espilo.
he was the first one. He was the first one. I got no idea how to pronounce
Yeah, if
that.
you want name pronunciations correct, you hit up the Silver Stream on the Saturday with Lars and Julian, who munch them
Yeah,
pronunciations down to a T. But Espelio
us
then,
Brits have always been bad.
yeah, Espelio then in the AMG, going to take all Eau Rouge and Radion first. Little lift, you can hear it there in the engine noise, but
Oh,
not, yeah, a little lift, but nothing.
I think he kept him in the lines there.
Yeah, I think he did insert. So we're gonna have a look, see how he goes through now. And there was also another point of saying, make sure if you're gonna say the corner names, you say them right. So I'm not gonna say the corner names because I don't know them. So yeah, it is what it is, and these guys are going to be tackling every corner they possibly can.
No Name is one of my least favourite corners.
Is this No Name?
No, this is not. It's the
This
next
is.
left. Which is No Name.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't mind it if you can hit it right.
It's yeah. I mean, for there, you know, you really want to get over to make the most of No Name. You want to get right over to the right and then cut in. I mean, and it's one of those corners where you feel like I can take it in third, but I can also take it in second, and it's trying to work out which is the quickest. And at this point here as well, it's such a in these two right-handers, you can scrub off way too much speed. It's so hard to get it consistent for me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the part of the track where I find most difficult. Is this middle sector essentially, and it's going through trying to get as much of that green stuff on the inside of these corners as you possibly can, while staying valid. Then you need to line yourself up here for the right-hander, trying to keep it as flat as you can. If anything, it's like one of the most difficult corners to keep flat, along with Eau Rouge Radion is that right-hander, because you have to hit the line spot on, or it's just all over the place. And then we come into Blanchimont, like one of my favourite corners in most, if not any racing game is Blanchimont, especially if your name's Steve Worrell driving an Audi, in which I believe in the first or the second season in the 2.4-hour race that you pro drivers had. I think he binned it 4 times in a row. I'm pretty sure he pitted and then came out and binned it there in the same time again. So Spello then with a 2:22 to set the first flying lap.
Quicker than what I did the other day. But to be fair, I was doing it with a lot of fuel on board. So yeah.
Baldetto's first lap goes 2:22.7, but it was invalid. Let's have a little look at who's someone's team name is. Oh, he's in the pro split. Gareth Rondo. We'll save that for later then. Andy Bahan in the pits. Philip Menzies out on track.
Car 21, I think it's just started a lap. Looking at the track map, that's Baldetto.
Oh, actually, we jump on board one of the newer drivers for this week. His first week with us. Oh, I say that, and he's absolutely cocked it up.
Curse. There we go.
Welcome to ACCSimSeries.
What an induction that was.
Oh, he's killed number 9 as well. I don't know who number 9 was. I think it was Iberg, and he's absolutely done him in as well by being part of the top of. We've got another one we can go on board with, though, and that's Phil Menzies coming round to start a lap. Again, in the AMG as well. He's one of his first championship race this evening with us.
Sorensen, who didn't have a good time out last time at Nürburgring, is currently in pole with a 2:21.5. So, you know, over half a second faster than P2. I'm not even going to try butchering that name.
But chooses out a Spello.
Yeah,
Someone said you need to say Bo or BO. Or yeah, so you say Osbio?
Ospello?
No, it's not a blur, it's a Osbeto. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is chat.
Like
this is chat. Like chat could be completely shafting me here. Like it wouldn't be the first time, it wouldn't be the last time. But anyway, Phil Menzies then coming down the Kemmel straight into Lecom.
Very important braking point here. And you often see that's on the first lap of the race. That's often where the carnage happens because people are careful up Eau Rouge and through Radion, down the Kemmel Straight. They're all trying to go 3 wide because everyone's going to each other's slipstream, and then carnage when you get into the next braking zone. Gotta love it. I was being sarcastic there when I said you gotta love it, just in case anybody didn't know.
So there's another one of our new drivers as well, Jonas Covisto, who is a second up. He's actually behind Philip Menzies at the moment. So they're next to each other on track.
Yeah, he's coming in 5th, isn't he, on the leaderboard? So
yeah, perfect excuse to get the old bonnet cam out. 2 new drivers then into Tier 6 this week. I think there's 3 in total, including that Porsche that spun earlier on at the top of Radion.
This is the danger, isn't it, of not having a gap. Is getting too close now to the car ahead, which is going to. It's not quite the same degree as a Formula 1 car, but gone wide. That's handy. It was being blue flagged, but you know, if you get a little bit too close, your car does get a little bit disturbed by the air coming off the rear wing of the car ahead. So it's not what you want. And that was the thing actually that I found in the gold split during qualified, is that, you know, we're trying to back up and create a gap, and I've just got other cars just whizzing past me, not really on the ball.
I'll tell you what though, I'd be really frustrated if you guys have to back up on Spa. Like, the track's 2.5 minutes long, man. Like, there's not enough time for you to find space throughout the rest of the track. Then you're doing something wrong. And Cavesto then goes in at 5th. He banks an extra second off his personal best and is up to a 2:23.4. Let's see who else is improving. Oscar Iberg, he is 6/10 up as he comes through the exit of Lecom now.
On Gland's also up about half a second at the moment as he's in sector 1. I think he's just gone through to sector 2, so I'll keep an eye on him. Fernandez is up nearly a second as well.
These guys are all sharing the same part of the track as well. Got Von Glan going into the double left-hander. In the Bentley as well. So talking to the Bentley earlier, 2:25.4 at the moment on this sort of pace. Still quite a lot of drivers not yet to set a time. I think there's according to the stewards, there's 5 drivers this evening that are serving some sort of penalty. So McCloskey, Otley, Menzies needs to set a time. Baldetto, our championship leader in Tier 6, needs to set, actually our championship leader overall as well, should I say, and needs to set a time as well.
Yeah, Alice McGuigan, I think, is one of those that's also got a penalty as well. She didn't have a great time out at Nürburgring, so he's probably looking to make amends with her performance there. So Von Glan's nearly 1.5 up now, so heading for a 2:23-ish. Yeah, 2:23 something. Gained a little bit more time into the final bus stop.
Well, that's going to push a low 23 then. Oh, was he invalid? Oh no, there's the line. Sorry, 24 flat then.
That was close to a 23.
Oscar Iberg coming across the line as well to improve by 7/10. Puts him a second off Sorensen in the lead. Baldetto then, like I said, championship leader overall and for Tier 6, puts himself in P4. And actually he's found a second.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, I think that's just going to be the confidence of, I'll say banker lap. He's 4 laps in before he set his first lap and his time lap. And now it's like, well, I've got that lap. I'm P4. Now I can start to push it up Eau Rouge Radion. And it doesn't really matter now if I invalidate because I'm already P4. And actually, if I can do it, I'm going to gain a second here. And that's what I need to find the leader. And that's essentially...
You would probably, I mean, you'd probably think, though, that P4 in... at this stage will probably end up being P14, 15 perhaps, if the pro drivers are able to outpace some of these AMs. But as we see from time to time, some of the AMs do have quicker pace than the pros. As I've touched on it again and again. You know, different cars, different tracks. Some drivers have their favourite tracks as well, where they go faster than others.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's be interested to see where they fit at Spa. You know, do you want to be in the middle pack at any track, really? Not ideally.
No, especially not off the start as well. Like, you don't want to be.
Looks like he's lost his time to me. He's lost a lot of time. But Fernandez is coming in 12th. He's 1.1 second up. He's in sector 2 at the moment. He's lost a tiny bit of time, but his best time is a 2:26, so he's going to hit to the 2:25s. He might move up to about 10th.
Yeah, hopefully. And is that Fernandez? Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, Fernandez. Bordetto's literally moved up to 3rd, so gained a little bit of time, but threw a lot away in the
Oh, it's
middle.
Fernandez has just thrown
Oh,
away that.
commentator's curse!
Sorensen's going to go quicker though. He's going to go up to 22.3.
Much better from him this week. But then the Lexus is op, as they say.
Lexus is op indeed. It's the 720S.
So we got a man in 4th who's currently up on his time.
I love that. Oh man, in 4th. Not going to go for the pronunciation. So coming into Lake Com as well.
You told me, I've forgotten already. So like, this is the problem. Like,
I told you, and chat still told me I was doing it wrong. So I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vita. Could be worse. I could call you Victor because you're clearly missing a C or a K in there. Like,
is it Vita or is it Victor?
Oh, don't even start, man. Like, honestly. Either way, he's 4 tenths up. I mean, Webb's 6 tenths up.
Webb, come on, Webby. What you got, Webby?
Let's have a little look at Webb, and let's have the sound of that V12 Aston Martin ringing through our ears. So it sounds like a jet engine getting going.
It does, doesn't it? As it sucks in the that turbo spins up, and then the air filter sucks in the old air. So we've got 30 seconds until the GT3s can leave the pits. And anybody that crosses the line sorry, the pros could come out, not the GT3s, the pros could come out. Thinking we're in multi-class for a second there.
Oh, that's right, I got it.
So, yeah, the pros can leave the pits in about 15 or so seconds. Webb at the moment, he can complete this lap, but then once he's, because the clock would have gone below 15 minutes or below, he won't be able to do another lap. He'll get told off and stewards won't be happy. So,
he lost about 4 tenths through that corner just by having to, as we heard on the stream there, give a little lift as he went through. He lost about half a second as we go into Blanchemont, lifting again as well. He actually found the rest of his time though. He could have potentially found maybe like, there's definitely about 2 seconds in that lap there from that little lift as well as he goes over. Might even improve up a position here above Pito Fernandez. So he does as well. So he goes up to 13th in the Tier 6 pack, and that's going to come. Let's have a little look who see who is up.
Gareth Ronda and his team name, brilliant.
Yeah, we're going to go over to that in a sec. Oscar Iberg about to cross the line for his last lap.
David Long's the first of the pros leaving the pits.
Excellent stuff. Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome. It's like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, tell me about it. Von Glans is Christian Smith. Christian Smith is on a lap. 2 temps up at the moment. Who's the car behind? Car number 16. Who's car number 16?
Good question. Can't see it on the...
Oh, 16 is McCloskey, who actually wasn't, by the looks of it, wasn't quali banned.
Oh.
Just hasn't managed to set a lap after four attempts. So, oh, well, better luck next time then. So, Christian Smith's actually 8 temps up on his final going, and that might be good enough even here to jump him up onto 8th or 9th, depending on how much he gets through Blanchemont.
If he's kept the foot in, might be able to gain some more time. And I find you can gain time here if you just brake a little bit later than you normally would.
Well, he's found a chunk. He's found a big old chunk. 1.3 seconds nearly. That's good enough to put him.
A little bit on the exit.
There you go, up to 9th then for Christian Smith. And you say David Long was the first one out.
Long, car 977, yeah. And so he's on his out lap. He's got a car behind him, very closely following him. Probably wants to. There's a few cars pretty close, like 720, 321, 66, 17, 19. They probably just want to spread out a little bit. Like you say, it's a big bloody circuit, so come on.
Do us a favour.
Let's spread out. No, do themselves a favour. Let's just ease off a little bit. Because you've only got 15 minutes and it's a big track. Once you know, and as we know, you spend about 5 years leaving the pits. So
here we go then. So we're going to jump on board with David Long in the white and pink Aston Martin. We take you for a lap here on board with our Tier 5 first drive out to set a time lap. He heads into La Source. La Source, the tight right hand. You'll see if you're very familiar with Formula 1, you'll see the crash compilations all over YouTube of F1 drivers piling into each other through La Source. So we head now, trying to hug that wall on the right hand side as much as you can to get a nice run through Eau Rouge and then Radion. Little lift, not too much for lift. And then it's foot flat to the floor all the way down the Kemmel straight. And that's going to pretty much conclude one of the fastest sector probably on the track. Essentially, it's all two straights with a few kinks as we head into Raycom. Like Paul said earlier on, really important to get into that braking zone as efficiently as you can, and you want to drag it out left and pull it right as you hang through as much of the green stuff on the outside as you can. Spa's very lucky, you can utilise quite a lot of the insides and the outside runoff areas. Not as much as we saw in the Total 24 Hours of Spa this year, but enough to gain as much time as you can as we head through No Name, turn number 11. Through now onto the double left-hander of Pouhon. As much of that curb on the left as possible, then utilising the runoff on the right before tucking it back inside again on the left-hand side, and again, runoff wanting to be taken through there. Into turn 13 and 14 then. Everyone has a different... Go on.
Sorry, there are a lot of drivers. I'm just watching the track map. There are a lot of drivers who are very close together.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking tidy, David. I don't know how fast it is, but he's looking tidy. I think there's a couple of places where he can be utilised a bit more, the runoff a bit more, you know, in the rumble strips. But we're looking pretty settled. That car he hasn't had any moments, but I would imagine he'll continue to go round again and go to set on another lap and go even faster.
So he's definitely got that difference there. You can hear in the engine that the right foot never comes up as it goes through Blanchimont, and then as you cross over that white line being your braking marker for the bus stop chicane, ever so famous on this track. And that's going to be David Long then setting the first qualifying lap. He's going to put himself up into P2, so it wasn't too bad. I think Nemeth squeezing into the 220s as well. After that, Nemeth looked really strong actually in qualifying.
In practice, you mean?
Yeah, really strong in practice. What did I say? Qualifying, sorry.
Like commentators do all the time. You think one thing and then you say another.
Yeah.
Yeah. David Croft does it. David Croft does it every week. So and he's still got a job. So yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. And Nemeth finds himself another 10th as he goes through Eau Rouge and Radion. Like I said, you can look at that track map on the right-hand side there, and you can see how congested it is. I mean, middle sector now has got one driver in it, and there's only probably 20 or so cars out on track at maximum.
Nemeth just gets a little bit leery on the rear end of the car, wants to come around and say hello to him in the driver's seat. But yeah, Ray Birch probably, I think, would have been validated his lap there. Looks a bit wide. It's, what do you say? That's a camouflage green.
Yeah. I mean, the red stripe through the middle is definitely not going to hide him from much, is it? But
no.
Nero Espionage in chat wants to know if you had a good race on Sunday.
No.
Move on. Right.
No, I did not. No. I mean, I like those tricky conditions, and if I'm being honest, race one was ruined by another driver not waiting for the cars to pass before we enter in the track. And then
I'm not salty about it, chap.
I'm not salty about that whatsoever. And then, especially the fact that the driver...
Carry on, move on.
Anyway, but then in the second race, I had a bit of a bad start. Unfortunately, I hit another driver, which is unfortunate. And then but then I actually made some good progress up. I enjoy those conditions. I like that challenge. It's something different. My arms don't the next day, mind. But yeah, it
But
was
like,
alright. It was the thing was the second race, the track was really flooded, and you'd be braking and you don't know whether you're just going to hit a puddle or not, and it was kind of that unknown. Every lap seemed to be different. So yeah, it was tricky, but good overall.
you said earlier on in
So
the
I picked
last,
up points, unlike
yeah,
the first
picked up
round.
points.
So I didn't have a very good first round at
Like,
all.
like you said earlier on about David not David Wirtz, I've just seen the wrong name, it's the other one. David Long, not David Wirtz, like you said, go around again and get a better lap. And he actually found 1.4 seconds on that lap, and it's put him into pole position with a 2:20.6.
Yeah, and he's up already on his current one as well. He's half a second, so Nemeth is 200ths of a second up. So, I think the strategy around Spa is just put a set of tyres on, put the fuel in the car, and just keep going round. Because by the time you go in, change tyres, you're going to lose a couple of minutes because you've got to get round again to actually put those tyres up to temperature. So you are just better just loading the fuel up for the whole 15-minute session and just go for it and do what you can.
Here we go, and we're going to go on board with fan favourite Gareth Ronda.
Fan favourites a bit. I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean, his team names are more favoured than him, but either way. Please Webb, no punt this week.
Someone asked in chat, will it be wet on Sunday again?
Have to find out on Sunday, won't you? Tune into the stream, 7:20 with Gareth and hopefully a new commentator joining us on Sunday. Stefan's unfortunately run into a few scheduling issues and is unavailable to do Sundays at the moment, so we've had to find a replacement. And if he's not available, it'll probably be me on Sunday. Or it might be Gareth on his own. We'll see how it goes.
Have you got enough wife coin for that?
I don't know. This week has been difficult on that. I find it difficult. I'm now working from home full time, so it's like she doesn't work anyway for other reasons. But yeah, it was like she just sits there, like, because we've only got one bed flats. It's not like she can go into like another part of the house to work or whatever she's doing. Like, she just sits there while I'm working all morning, and I'm like, are you gonna get out of bed today and get ready? She's like, yeah, I will after lunch. I can't do it. Like, I start work at 9 or earlier, but most of the time I'm ready for 9 o'clock, and I'm like, right, I have to get up at 8. 7:20 disqualified from qualifying. What's happened there?
Don't know.
He was our pole sitter, Leslo Nemeth.
Let me go and see if I can find out for you.
Anyway, Gareth Ronda on a lap at the moment. He needs to get a banker lap in. Got nothing at the moment. It's one of...
We'll go and find out and be right back.
One of two drivers at the moment that's in the Tier 5 that haven't picked up any penalties. They haven't picked up aren't able to do a timed lap, sorry. A teeth all over the place this week. Can't even get a lap in. Like. Well, I said you won't never know if it's going to be wet until you turn up on Sunday. I mean, Sunday wasn't as wet as it was wetter than it was supposed to be. Granted. There you go. And Gareth Ronda setting a lap. Stephen Wiley, wrong car. Stephen Wiley, then the last of the Tier 5 drivers to be able to set a lap. 3 minutes left in qualifying, so our drivers might be able to get 2 more laps this evening.
So we should be better prepared.
He's quali banned, isn't he?
Yeah.
A shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna have to keep an eye on lads though then, because he is rapido round here. Like, he's absolutely flying. So in the back of the grid. First to last challenge for Nemeth this week.
Well, if he's disqualified, could he rejoin?
No, he can race. He's not disqualified from the race, is he? I think he's just disqualified from qualifying. He's just got a quali ban.
Well, I disqualified someone before and it wasn't.
Oh yeah, I think they disqualify him at the start. But
okay, right. I'm learning. Here we go, mate. Brilliant. Woo.
Another car, car number 12.
Oh.
Car number 3. Oh, these are all the drivers that are previously disqualified for having qualifying bans. Victor Espolo then, the guy whose name we're not going to mention, and Daniel Durrett, P2 and 3 on identical lap times, but Durrett was up
Oh,
the last
yeah.
time I looked.
Ed Terrell's he's currently 0.8 up. He's currently into the bus stop chicane. So
This could be
he
pole
might be
for
a
Ed.
second up by 2:19 coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, nearly.
Oh, 2:21.
2:20.
That's close. That is close.
Daniel Durrett not managed to find it. This is the last opportunity then.
Durrett.
And this is where the AMs do have the advantage. He's not going to be able to get it that way because he's lost it out of Lake Hom. So this is where the AMs do have the advantage. Obviously, they get the fast track, and the tier 5s get the optimum track. But if you're on a joint time, it's whoever set the time first is given the higher position. So here, obviously, you see that Vita managed to get the time in the earlier session.
Tired again, Dan.
I've been holding that in for a long time. That yawn. We need a yawn and a disconnect, and we're set for the day.
I'll just keep an eye on Andy Behan. He's a little bit up on his time. He's probably probably looking at a low 2:21. He might move up into 7th. He might push Sorensen back at the rate. He was a little bit more up, but he lost a couple of tenths. So and he's just gained a little bit more. So it's on the edge here. What can he do into the final gate? Yeah, he's gained a little bit more. Come on, get the exit out. Come on, come on. If you run a little bit too wide there, you lose grip. He's kept it. So there we go. 7th, I think, is on the cards. There it is.
Nick Van Gastel as well is up 3 tenths.
Where's Ronda at the moment? What's he doing?
He was down in 20. He's in the pits, so he's done. He's qualified in 24th.
What is that all about? Stephen Wally's he's on a lap. He's in sector 1, and he's nearly a second up at the moment. So I'll keep an eye on him.
Excellent stuff. I'll keep an eye on Nick Van Gastel then. 3 tenths up as he goes. Oh, actually, Ray Birch is a big chunk of time up as well. It could be enough to put him up into P3. It is. Great drive there from Ray Birch. Still got, and actually just manages to cross the line enough to get himself another lap should he need it. As this is going to be the last of the final flying laps. Car 24.
Hopkins also coming up behind Van Gastel. He's up a little bit as well.
Nick Van Gastel's lost. Oh, he's gone into the pits then. Bruce Hopkins.
Yeah. He's nearly a second up now. Well, he is a second up even on the Delta. Yeah.
Actually, the last car that's up. Oh, he's invalidated his lap. That's going to essentially be it.
Oh, is he invalidated?
He's invalidated. Bruce is invalidated.
Stephen's still going around. Car 492. He was a little bit more up than he currently is, but he's thrown a little bit of the time away. He's now 0.1 up. He could still gain a couple of places if he finds a bit of time in this final sector. It's all in the braking zone. So I find quite interesting some of the drivers, even though they're invalidating the laps, are using the opportunity to practice the pit entry. It's always good to practice your pit stops. Stephen's kind of he's gained a little bit again, but not enough to really move up, I'm afraid. So stays 25th.
That's going to be the end then. So that's going to be the end of qualifying. Let's go and bring up the timetable. We can have a little look at the AMs to begin with then. So Victor Espello on P1 for the AMs, Sorensen in P2, Wirch P3, Baldetto then our overall and Tier 6 leader in P4 for the Tier 6, the AM drivers, Oscar Iberg P6. And looking at the overall then, we see where these pro drivers mix in. And no one really, I mean, Terrell was on pole, but only had the fastest final sector.
Yeah, that's what I was just noticing as well. Like, Durrett has the fastest middle sector, and Haller, who's down in 6, has the fastest first sector in the Audi. So,
yeah. I mean, that Audi is risky round Spa, as we previously discussed. But Terrell on pole, Long, Birch, Espello, Durrett, Haller, Bahar, Sorensen, Mal, Van Gastel, and Wirch are your top 10. And who are you after? Sorry.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking, like, Sorensen's the highest Lexus, so I think he's the only Lexus, isn't he, in this, or is there 2?
Yeah, and I think he's the only Lexus in this season. Let's see how the new drivers got on. So we've got Cavisto in 20th. Who else was new? DeSanton in in 26th. Philip Menzies in 32nd, not actually managing to set a valid lap. Same with McCloskey then. Just wait for these guys to finish up. And we'll head to a short ad break and then we'll be back for ACC Sim Series. Round number 3, which is at Spa-Francorchamps. And it'll be race number 1. 2 races here this evening, both of half an hour, both with a mandatory pit stop for a tyre change. And getting to the point now where points are on the line, and points do mean prizes. Well, they don't mean prizes, they mean promotion. Points mean promotion.
There were a couple of warnings to drivers in during qualifying. So car 197 crossed the pit exit lines during qualifying. So it's been given a warning for that, and that's a reminder for all drivers to, especially here, where you've got people going up through Rouge and Rally on, they're at a huge speed. So I'm always conscious of the pit exit at Spa, you know, as a slower car is coming out. And then car number 33 got a warning for just basically not, you know, getting too close to other cars during qualifying, you know, not respecting that gap, which we touched on before.
Definitely. You're right to stick your webcam back on, and we'll jump back over to our faces.
Get off. There we go.
While we wait for the game server to jump back over. It's not recognised your webcam again, I'm afraid, bud.
I'm seeing it.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, hold on.
We'll hold him. Have a little think of who we can do. Oh, we got who we got near each other.
Weird, I'm seeing it. Where is webcam options? There.
Okay then, so we're going to jump over to a short ad break, and we'll be back shortly with the grid walk before the start of race number 1. And we're back then, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the virtual grid walk of ACC Sim Series Round 3 at Spa-Francorchamps. This is race number 1 of 2 this evening. 2 30-minute races for you. And Ed Terrell then finds himself on pole position. David Long, P2. Aston Martin then locking up a front row for themselves. Ray Birch in P3. Aspello and Durrett 4 and 5 as the engines start to roll. We need to get this camera moving a little bit quicker. Here we go. Durrett and Haller. And then we've got Bahan, Sorensen, Hamal, Van Gastel, David Wirch, Andrea Baldetto, Kyle Beveridge, Gary Allen, Oscar Iberg, and then we've got Michael Wilden, Jose Neves, Baldwin Louis, Mark Chardon. So first of our new drivers this evening Jonas Kavisto. Then we've got Bruce Hopkins, Eckhart von Glan, Smith. I can't remember the first name. Sorry, Smith. Gareth Ronda, Stefan Whaley, D. Santon, another one of our new drivers. Fito Fernandez, Christian Smith. There we go. Joe Smeets, Craig Gibson, Lewis Webb. And then we've got McCloskey and Menzies both failed to set a time. Then our pack at the back, who have got penalties. So McGuigan, Redmond, Otley, Ward, and I believe Nemeth is starting from the pit lane this evening. Who are your eyes on this evening?
I'm going to keep my eye on Birch tonight, I think. I think he might have a solid race.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. Like I said earlier on, I think Nemeth was rapid, but has obviously got to face that penalty from the stewards.
Yeah,
and he's going to have to settle with that somehow. And it'd be interesting to see where he ends up. I mean, we've seen, I think Albu, I think you're going back to probably season 1 days. Colby and Albu are one of our tier 1, tier 2 sort of drivers. Had a pit lane start in one of the very first times we visited Spa with the Pro Split guys, and managed to make his way quite a way through the field, getting himself into the top 10. And
was that not a 2.5 hour race one?
I'm not sure. I can't remember if it's a 2.5 hour race. That's why I didn't want to big it up too much. Let's have a little look.
I think it might be one of the longer races that we did. But I know he's had a couple of races where he's had really good performances coming from the back. So there might have been a shorter one, but I think he also had a really good one in the 2.4 as well. So
let's have a go. So we've got 2 Aston Martins on the start of the grid. So Will and Aston Martin win race 1 is going to be our prediction for the first race. Yes, no, and you can use your wife coins in the chat if you want to vote. We'll give it 5 minutes on that prediction. So it has started. Thank you very much for reminding me, Rob. I had forgotten. Let me go on to my phone because I can't do it from my computer and join in that prediction. And let us know. What do you think, Paul? Do you think it will have? Do you think an Aston Martin's going to win the race?
There is a strong possibility. It is a strong car here. Do you know what? I don't really know. Possible. It is possible.
It's possible. Always sitting on the fences, Mr. Glover, as our drivers then head through the chicane section of the track. Tell you what, I reckon she's put the heating on. I'm sweating out in here, Paul. Oh, she's not. I'm just really warm.
Oh, you're not going through the menopause, are you?
I don't know. The PC's been on most of the day from work. I turned it off for a couple of hours in the middle. But yeah, so Helicam it's going to be. We're going to have a look at the front of the pack, I think we're going to go for.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye right at the back. I'm very surprised to see Paddy Redmond up near the back.
He had a quali ban, so.
That'd be why. Right. Really, my finger's really on the pulse tonight. Yeah, he'll make some good progress tonight if he stays out of trouble. Let's see if the Ronda can make some good progress like he did in was it race 1 Nürburgring last week?
Yeah, he had a really good race 1, I think.
Yeah, he got tapped, didn't he, on start of race 2.
Well, here we go then. The driver's starting to form the Noah's Ark formation at the end of the Blanchimont, straight into the bus stop chicane. And then we're going to go.
Penalties last time, didn't we, at the start as well? Because was it Nemeth trying to get a little bit too ahead last time out?
I think so. I mean, he's picked up enough penalty points this evening to have to start from the pits. So the whole pack, Constantine is up. Then we've got Gary Allen a little bit out of permission. We've still got another corner to go.
I know, this is the annoying thing about here. I think it bunches them up a little bit too early.
Well, I think how the game code works, I mean, Italian game design, who's to know to predict it is, it always bunches up for the finish line. But at Spa, the finish line is different to the start line.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah,
it could do with bunching them up on that straight with us. It's definitely long enough. The start lines. Our drivers are hitting that 70-kilometre mark then, and we're about to. Oh, I've said it well too early because it slows them right down. They all kick their revs up for the full of
Dan,
sauce.
the, the race engineer goes green, green, green. It's a big clue.
Here we go then. So we're about to go green then for ACC Sim Series and the Aston Martins. Both suffer from that massive turbo lag at the start, and Ray Birch having to put his brakes on as he goes up the hill for the first
there's already an incident at the back between, I think, Paddy Redmond and Alice McGuigan's spun round. So she was the loser there, and right at the back, she goes up Eau Rouge.
Oh, for the safe majority part though, we're through nice and safe. All of our cars are heading down
Interesting bit.
2 and 3 wide. Daniel Durrett there fighting alongside, I believe, the McLaren, the yellow McLaren. I think that's of Christian Smith. I could be wrong. Oh, it's Andy Mahan.
It's a Ferrari that's gone wide.
Oh, Durrett and Haller, I believe that is, having an incident on the exit of Les Combes, and our front four has started to run away a bit. Bahan then in P, has moved himself up to P5. Sorensen in P6.
Peter Ward's lost out. He's now right at the back. He did the smart thing by waiting.
Oh, there's carnage in the right hand.
There's carnage. So 197's got a red, yellow flag, and that's Philip Menzies.
Yeah, so welcomes the ACCSS with that one, because this is his first race this evening. Fito Fernandez was all the way around as well, and he's now towards the back of the group.
Nemeth is just exiting the pit, so pit penalty at Spa is really going to hurt you. So he's now going down the Kemmel straight, as everyone else is already into sector 2. You can see him on your map on your
we can see him on the top right. He's coming into Les Combes now. Is 7:20. Cars start to bunch up again round the third and final sector. Ed Terrell then leading them round. There's still the Aston Martin 1-2, but I believe Ed's got ahead of David then in the first lap. Oh no, they haven't. Ed did qualify on first. My apologies there. They're going to slam the brakes on as he looks for the inside. Oh, the Ferrari comes in flying as well. All three of them. I think Ed Terrell was the only one to get it slowed down.
Pushed it back round just for this. Oh, but there's also contact between the
That's Bahan and Espillo.
Oh, that was avoidable.
Oh, and Espillo's still around in the corner. And now Ray Birch just being absolutely sucked in by the Lexus of Sorensen.
Lewis Webb is up to 20th.
What a drive from that man. He started in P29. Gareth Ronda's up to 15th.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Come on, Webby.
Oh, look how fast they're all going up Eau Rouge now. They're feeling it. They're 3 wide behind.
That's not going to go wrong, is it?
Oh, Hamel looking for the third.
McLaren just, I don't think it's got enough room. Just, on the inside. The Aston just sort of, come on, give each other room. Yeah, the McLaren is, has the Lexus got damage there on the bonnet?
I don't think the Lexus has too much wrong with it. I think the Lexus hasn't really been involved with anything. The Ray Birch's Ferrari is definitely a little bit scuffed.
Oh, Lewis has spun. Lewis Webb has spun. And then there was, he's at the side of the track, but then there was contact.
Oh, the rejoin!
Look at re-entry!
The rejoin! I think that was Von Glan with the re-entry there. Yeah, it was Von Glan.
What was that?
Diving straight back onto the track.
That's a penalty all day long. But before that, somebody did hit him because he was spun right at the entry of Lecombe. I don't know if him and Webb had a coming together between the two drivers, but we were praising Webb and he's gone, unfortunately, throwing it all away.
But there is definitely one to praise, and that's going to be Gareth Ronda. He moves himself from P24 up to P13 just by keeping him clean. I mean, that paint job hasn't even got a scratch of another colours car on it, and he's now all over the back of, I believe it's Kyle Beveridge's black and gold Aston Martin.
So Nemeth is just coming down Kemmel straight. Just keep an eye on him where he's at. But I think he might catch Mark Schodenens, who's currently in 36th position in the 77 Porsche. Yeah, I thought. So we're getting told off in chat that we're pronouncing Sorensen, but it's not Sorensen. But I don't know how else you pronounce it. So.
Or Sursen, I don't know. It's like spell.
No one tells us. How do we know? Anyway,
exactly. I mean, Gareth Ronda then, P13 as he crosses the line. Great start from him. Let's have a little look further down the running order. Richard McCloskey then failed to set a time in qualified, 32nd, down into 22nd. It looks like he's basically steered clear of all the trouble because very similar to Gareth Ronda's car. It's not got a scratch of another car's paint on that fantastic blue and red livery. Looks a little bit wide there as he goes through the source.
So all pretty standard at the top. They're all kind of just sort of following each other. Don't forget, in each race they're in the mandatory pit stop where the drivers must do a tyre change. Don't necessarily have to take fuel. They could load up for the whole race. Which
oh, someone's lost it. I think it's Dieter. It's not Dieter, is it Christian? Christian Smith's lost it then. Up Eau Rouge Radion. He's got a little bit of a spin on. I lose quite
yeah, Homo is up into third.
Drive from him then. So, I think Sorensen's lost out. He was P2 and he's now P4. So be interesting to see how Sorensen's lost that position in.
So Olivier qualified 9th, so he's had some good progression.
I mean, Hallis qualified 6th, down in 15th. Espello qualified 4th, down in 20th. Where was Duret? I saw Duret earlier on. Duret qualified 5th, down in 23rd. As looks like 242 and 22, Joe Smeets and Lewis Webb then have another collision at the end of the Kemble Straight.
Okay, so let's have a look and see. Oh, yeah, right, okay, so we've got a 10-second penalty for car number 3. We've got a 10-second penalty for car number 30, a 15-second penalty for car number 8, 10-second penalty for car 22, 5-second penalty for car 321, and a 10-second penalty for car 48. All to come on the board.
There we go then.
None of them have been applied yet. So
there we go then. So there's going to start to filter onto the screen at the moment. You see Ray Birch now looking to join in the battle for the final podium position.
Sorensen, the Lexus nearly going into the back of the Ferrari there. That was pretty close.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got action all over the place. But jump on board then with Jacob.
So Mr. I Still Paul Glover's car number, Kyle Beveridge, 79. He's got a 5-second penalty coming.
I mean, he's in a different split to you, Matt. Like,
well, that's not the point. My number. Right, I just like.
The pit is now open.
Right, pit window is open for 15 minutes. Birch is having a look at the Lexus at the moment. He's getting a little bit hungry, I think. I think he wants to eat some dinner.
yeah, he definitely does.
Oh, Olivier Homer has had a bit of a something quite slow there, and that's put the Lexus on the back of it. But the Lexus then had to back out and slow right down, which they did the same for Birch. And then now we've got Behan tagging onto the back now. So he's like, I want to join this party.
Oh, there looks like there's carnage again further back. It looks like there's a car 16. It could be maybe car 19. Car 19.
Three showing red at the moment on the map.
Haller was round. I think there's a few other cars that are involved in that. There's an Aston Martin definitely involved. Was it Cavisto? No, it wasn't.
What car numbers did you think?
Car number 19 was yellow flag, but he's corrected it now. He's still down in 15th position.
Yeah, there is an incident with car number 19 and car 9, so I don't know. But it looked like there's an unsafe rejoin's just been noted by car 30, so that might be part of the incident. So the stewards will be taking a look at that. So as well as the incident tracker that we have that inputs any contact between cars, because that's all it can detect. If a driver sees an incident, such as a driver across the white line or doing a poor re-entry, or anything that's not necessarily a collision that wants to be investigated, they can call out their number. The driver steward, who is Leonard this evening, can then go into the tracker and input a timestamp, and then we'll put a comment as to what they're looking for, and just one of the stewards will pick it up and go and have a little gander.
There we go.
Well, a really good way of doing it, actually. I really like what the stewards do.
Yeah, so Bahan then, the first of the leaders to jump into the pit. I mean, he was P6, but he did manage to catch up to the back of this pack over the past 2 laps, so maybe he's just trying to give himself a little bit of free air. And like I said,
I mean, that's a good point, because at this track, we know how long you're in the pits for. If you go in the pits, you are going to come out way behind everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, look at the free air on that track. The whole of sector 2, like I said, has got 2 cars in it. So I mean, you're going to come out somewhere in that field after you have your pit stop. It takes about 2 minutes really to clear your pit
You're
stop
going
on
to
the
come
track.
out. You're going to come out. You're going to come out behind the last car. I would imagine.
Yeah, but there's so many last cars now. The amount of incidents that have been involved and drivers pitting early and returning to pit. So 77 is the last car at the
So
moment.
we've got a few other cars got into pits. So Santa's in car number 8. Santon's in the pits. Daniel Duret's in the pits. Oscar Isberg's in the pits as well. Ian Otley's in there too. Behan's the highest driver that decided to go in. So Mark Chardon is leaving the pits, according to the tracker, but he's not anywhere near the pit. So I don't understand maybe it's his outlap even. So he's been in the pits. He hasn't cleared his mandatory though, so he must have been in there for another reason, I would imagine. Lewis Webb is in the pits, but I don't think he's continuing the race. I think the same could be said for Smeets. Nemeth is in the pits, so he's now leaving. So he's done his mandatory. So we know what he's doing. Head down and off he goes.
Yes, this is the battle for the lead at the moment then between Ed Terrell and David Long. Remember, we've got that prediction in the chat. I don't know if it's still going. It may not be if Will and Aston Martin win. And at the moment, it's looking likely. A 4 to 5 second gap away from that 555 Ferrari of Hamiao or Hamu, whatever way you want to say it. And then Sorensen is the leader of Tier 6 at the moment, sitting pretty in P4. But he is in that battle with the rest of himself, the Ferrari, and he's in a Ferrari sandwich essentially with Ray Birch piling the pressure, on him as they head into the bus stop again.
Behan is now on the Kemmel Straight. So he's out of the pits. He's wiggling around trying to warm those tyres up in the McLaren. So he's got some clear air. The next car hits car 3, which is in sector 2. So I think quite a smart decision from him. We've got 10-second penalty coming in for Mr. Webb, car 242. 10-second penalty coming in for car number 19. 10-second penalty for car 951. And a 10-second penalty for car number 22. And we've got a disqualification incoming as well for car 242.
Fair enough then. So we've got Paddy Redmond started in P34, finds himself in P19. Obviously, some of these cars are going to be a little bit out of position due to the pit stop cycle.
And we've got the car number 9 is getting a 5-second penalty for an unsafe rejoin, which is the one that one of the drivers called out. So, yeah. And they're all up to date now, so they just got to apply these penalties. Every single incident has now been investigated. And this is the thing about Spa. In the first few laps, you get a lot of collisions, but because it's so big, that tends to settle down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Not always, it tends to.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely starts to fizzle out as quickly as we go. And we've still got packs of cars on the track. At the moment, we're looking at Behan as he heads through. Not Behan, sorry, Paddy Redmond as he heads through the pack.
He's done all right. I mean, he was one of the last. He couldn't qualify, so he's moved up into 18, and he's on the back of Victor. So that's not too bad from him.
Oh, P8 then. Wilden has had an incident through the double left-hander of... Oh, I can't remember what it's called. He's had an incident double left-hander. Falls himself down. I think probably going to fall down to P15 or 16, somewhere along that line. Can you send me the spreadsheet, by the way? I haven't got access to it at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
Very much. Closing that gap then on to Wilden. On to Neves, sorry. Wilden's lost a position out to Haller.
I'm just keeping an eye on Behan, what he's getting up to.
Sorensen then into the pits for the... Behan's got a penalty, has he, on his way?
Yeah, he's one of the guys, so he's got 10 seconds. So, yeah, that's kind of... Yeah. Okay. So there's no... Oh, there's...
Loads of cars jumping into the pits now.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7 of them as they head on in. Let's have a little look how it is at the top then. So David Long has got past Ed Terrell then. So they've swapped positions. But the Aston Martins are still at the lead, in the lead of the race, and I believe that is a back marker ahead of them.
Yeah, because the guy in third is Olivier still. So yeah, that's
We are halfway through.
that is a
Keep
back
pushing.
marker of Isberg. So Ray Birch, who I predicted would have a good race. He's got a bit of a scratch front on that Ferrari of his that's currently in the pits. So
Gareth Ronda, not pit yet, but he is up to P6 on track.
Jakob Sonson, or however you pronounce his name, is he's leaving the pits now. He's got currently finds himself in around about 13th position. Paddy Redmond, because he hasn't pitted yet, also up into 9th. It'll be interesting to see where Gareth comes out once this all settles. I mean, his last lap was a 2:26. The guys ahead of him are doing 2:22s. His best is a 2:25, so he's not really on the pace of the top 5 by any stretch.
No, definitely not. But I mean, like I said, you're going to keep it clean, you're going to keep it mean, and you're going to get there. Eventually, you're going to pick up some points as they go. There's only about 12 cars of our 38 car grid left to pit. 6 minutes left on the pit window. That's only going to be 2 or 3 laps.
He's under pressure though, Gareth. Sorry to cut across you. He's got Neves and Haller both over the back of him, and so I think it looks like Terrell's going to enter the pits by the looks of it there. But let me have a look. No, he carries on behind David Long. So, and Neves is right up on him now. Wouldn't be surprised into the bus stop if he has a little look.
Haller is anything. Oh, Haller.
Oh, no.
Haller, what are you doing, man? That's gone well too aggressive, and that's going to put Gareth into the pits either way. Haller trying to find the pits as well. And I mean, come on, Haller, man. You got to slow it down. It's like that corner doesn't move. It's always there.
Got a little bit too greedy. This is interesting, isn't it? With back markers up ahead of the race leaders. Oh, hold on. Is that Hamu that's just get pushed out the way there?
That's a McLaren. Hamu's in a Ferrari. Hamu's in the pits eventually.
Okay.
I mean, there is a massive string of back markers here in between our leader and P2. Our leader's managed to get through.
Currently finds himself in third because he hasn't pitted yet. So he had a spin at one point as well, didn't he? So
But look at the damage these guys are doing to the lead. I mean, you can see in the distance now David Long's off to the races, and Ed Terrell's trying to find his way through.
Support! Oh no!
Oh, that was...
It was like he was aiming for the spinning Porsche.
Oh dear me. Don't really know what's going on here.
That was just something else, wasn't it? There was a couple more incidents that popped into the steward sheet. Oh no! And he's hit the other Aston, lapping the other Aston, and he's now in the wall.
Oh, what a rejoin. You can't quite see it because the wall's there and I can't find a different angle, but he's had an absolute shocker there. Let's go back and have a little look at the replay. Replay controls.
I don't really know what was happening there. I don't think the back marker was really helping the situation, but I don't know who the back marker was actually, but what car number is it?
Oh no, I don't even think he even hits anyone. He just oversteers into the wall.
Because he's on a different. Because he's on a. Oh yeah, that's because he's on a different line perhaps, and it's put him. Van Gastel into the pits, so he's currently in second position. Long, our race leader, he's in the pits. Terrell now is also in the pits as well. After that, I would call it frustrating lap for him.
I'm not too sure what's happened to Hamiel here, but he's fallen. But he's not pitted yet, and he's fallen behind Paddy Redmond, Jose Neves, and Van Gastel, and he was P3, and he's not.
Go and look.
Yeah,
have a little look.
He's. I have a feeling he's had a big off, or he's done a drive-through.
I didn't see a penalty.
No, I don't think
he did go in. He did go in the pits. He went in the pits. Did he actually stop?
He's pitting again
I
now,
didn't see him
so
drive through.
I don't know. I don't think he's
I
don't think he's.
think you might be right. I think he might have a drive through that we've missed because
I know. I don't think he's got a penalty. I think
stopped.
he's. I don't think he's got a penalty. I think he's just driven through the pits. If you go back and have a look at the replay, he'll be able to tell you.
He pulls over into the pit boxes.
Not change his tyres.
Then he just carries on. Just carries on.
Not too sure what's happened there then. So Bihan's the first driver of the pit out of pit rotation.
So where is Long? So he's up.
He's just coming out of the pits now.
He's out of the pits. I'm watching him now. Oh, I'm watching the replay. That's why. I'm really confused. I'm really confused.
Long's halfway down the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, Long. Van Gastel is out. He's in second still. Now he's in third. So he's had good progress. Did he spin at one point?
I'm not too sure. I can't remember if it's Van Gastel. Or is they going to be coming together?
Between him and Menzies? No.
Oh, Menzies. Yeah, it was Menzies. Oh. Yeah, the back marker there.
Lets him past. So let's have a look at the penalties. 10-second penalty for car. Another 10-second penalty for car 48. I think he's already got a 10-second penalty, is he not?
Car 48, yeah, he might have another one coming.
Yeah, and then a car penalty, 10-second penalty for car 197. Completely ignores the pit lane exit.
Excellent, love it. For who? 197?
197, yeah.
Ah. Oh, Philip Menzies then.
So obviously new to the...
Yeah, he's new to the community as well. It's his first race this evening.
Yeah, and then they're still investigating. They're still investigating one incident at the moment between cars 16 and 21. So. Okay, all right. So we're looking at David Wirch as Mr. Birch up ahead goes a little bit wide as the penalties for the cars come in. Pit window is now closed. We have 7.5 minutes remaining on the clock. So your race leader is currently David Long, followed by Andy Behan, finds himself in second position. So he's made some good progress. Van Gastel in third, Jacob Sonson in fourth. Is that anywhere close? Gary Allen finds in fifth. Ray Birch in sixth. He's had a solid race. David Wirch in seventh. Ed Sorrell finds himself in eighth. So after that lap before he pitted wasn't so great, he's fallen back a little bit. Carl Beveridge in ninth, and Jose Neves currently rounding out your top 10 as David Wirch is coming up on back of a back marker, and he's got past the back marker, which is nice. McLaren went out of the way. So, looking good.
Chat will never know. Anyway, so Dave Wirch then up into it. He's actually P2 in class at the moment, and surprisingly, Jonas Kavisto, whose first race this evening, is actually on his way to getting himself a Tier 6 podium in his first race. He's P3 at the moment in Tier 6.
Good. I mean, unfortunately for Mr. Behan, it's not looking so good because he's got 20 seconds worth of penalties, even though he finds himself in second position.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a shocker, and I mean, I'm trying to work out where that's going to might even put Ronda in top 10.
Look at Redmond and Ronda 11 and 12. They both made really good progress. Redmond more than most. So he's been solid. I mean, Carl Beveridge looks to be all over the back of Terrell. It looks pretty close. So two Aston Martins battling. We've seen that before, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Has Carl Beveridge. It looks like one of the closest gaps out on track right now.
Oh, there is a yellow flag at the top of Eau Rouge. Car number 20 had a bit of a spin up there. That's Fito Fernandez. I think we're yet to see the best of Fernandez. He seems to be very much Mr. Inconsistent, as it were. Very quick in qualifying. I remember racing him in last split when I was in the the AM, which is now the bronze split. Very quick. And
Sorry to cut across. Can you have a look at the battle between 7th, 8th and 9th? It's pretty compact there and pretty close between these guys.
so how was Ed? What's happened to Ed Terrell then? Like we've missed this.
Well, you remember before he pitted, he had that horrendous lap, didn't he?
Oh yeah. I mean, oh yeah, the lap was he's just been held back. But I mean, he's lost.
Kyle, something's happened to Kyle. He's dropped right off the back of Terrell. He was right on him. Literally could smell him, and he's fallen way behind this battle between him for Terrell and Wirch. So will Terrell make the move into the bus stop? He's gone on the left hand side. Wirch takes the inside line, but Wirch just let him pass, maybe because different class. So he's like, I'm not having a fight. Which, to be fair, is quite smart. He's in second. He's on the podium. So, and like you say, the man in 13, Boy Visto, you know, first race, first podium. Looking like
he's definitely on for it. One that's definitely impressed me today as well is Gary Allen. He qualified in P14th and he's moved himself up into P4 now. He's 13 seconds off the back of Van Gastel. So he needs to put the drive of his life essentially to find that as all behind Ray Birch. Gets it all wrong going up Eau Rouge and Radion. We just caught that on the back of the camera of Gary Allen, but he's got himself all wrong and finds himself in that wall. That's going to give the position to Ed Terrell, David Wirch. Is Beveridge through as well? I think Beveridge is quite caught up to the back end. It's going to see how much damage that.
Yeah, I might ask the same question. So, as a couple more penalties come flying in, we've got a penalty for car 16, 10 seconds, which is the one we're still being investigated. That's now closed off. Car 9's got a 10 second, and car 197's got a 10 second.
Bahan could be quite lucky here. I think he might only lose the one position to Van Gastel the way it stands, because he's Van Gastel's 11 seconds off of him, and then Gary Allen's a further 13 seconds off the back of Van Gastel. So ideally, if Gary Allen can find himself even probably 4 or 5 seconds here, it's going to look him good to get onto the back of, or to grab himself. It's probably one of his first podiums as well.
So I'm surprised actually no driver called out the unsafe rejoin by Ed Terrell, car 24, because it hasn't been caught. So I'm surprised the drivers around didn't call that out, because I certainly would have done. But sometimes you forget about these things. So Ronda's fallen back to 15th. So that Redmond's now into 11th, chasing down Neves. Interesting, with 2 minutes to go. He's right on the back of the Porsche, car 17. Does he have a look? The Aston is strong round here, to be fair. Porsche goes a little bit deep. Bus stop, better line from the Aston. You want to get as close as you can into the first hairpin, but he's gapped him a little bit there. So that's where the Porsche is quite strong, is on that acceleration out, isn't it? So it's quite hard when you're in.
Yeah, it definitely is, and this could be the last lap of the race. I'm just trying to find where. Maybe not. It might have another lap. It might cross the line with 5 or 10 seconds left on the.
I'll keep an eye.
Car number. Going past car number 12 through the left-right in the.
Yeah, you know, I don't. He might do it. He might. I'll just keep an eye on it for you.
Porsche there, putting his indicator on to move out of the way down the Kemmel Straight, and let these two guys battle on as they head through into the penultimate lap of the race. The Porsche looking a little bit squiggly as they go through. They come, and they touch. Redmond and Neves have touched. It sent Neves into the wall there. Redmond moves himself up into, but at the same time picks himself up a 10-second penalty. I can see another one likely coming his way. Let's have a little look further down the line. Baldetto then catching up to the back of Wally.
It looks like we're getting another lap. Long's just coming into the final chicane with 18 seconds on the clock.
Oh,
So
and
I
this
can
is...
see Alice is Wigan.
Okay, the leader is on the final
There we
lap
go,
now.
final
Give it
lap.
all you can.
So what happened there between Redmond and
I think the Neves has got. I was really squiggly through Les Combes. Redmond had a better run at it, and then they just the difference in speed ended up with Redmond
Cyril,
being
yeah?
inside essentially the Porsche, coming on through
Right,
the
okay.
exit of Les Combes, and then pretty much nearly going ahead and flipping over the Porsche with such a big contact, and they just stayed inside each other for a little while.
This is for Delo and Wally, is it?
Baldo and Wally, yes, I think that move's been done now. It has.
But Wally's right on the rear of the McLaren, so he might be trying to make the move back. Can he make the move back into the bus stop? He has a little look on the inside. Unfortunately, because he's done that, he kind of ruins his corner. There we go. 10-second penalty coming in for car 43.
Yeah, I think as expected there, and Wirch was really close to the back of Birch's Ferrari there, and actually seems to have lost a little bit of pace going into this final lap, and it's opened the eyes of Beveridge to find him. Let's have a little look where our leader is. Our leader sitting pretty. He's got 11-second gap to Bahan. He's just got to bring it home now as Mr. David Long for, I think, one of his first wins. Could be wrong there. I think that's stating just a pure-faced lie. Let's have a little look. Oh no, yeah, he's got one other win this season already, so that was just a straight, pure lie there. And here we go then. It's David Long coming through Blanchemont for the last time in race 1. Managed to get himself a 13-second gap.
So we haven't mentioned tonight about pit wall live. So if you want live timings, we haven't mentioned that once this evening.
Oh, well, they know it's there. It comes up randomly as the evening. I've just posted it in the chat as well. So David Long then going to cross the line to win race number 1 around Spa here. And that's going to give the prediction out as well. Let's pay that prediction out for yes. Oh, loads of you didn't. None of you backed yes. A lot of you backed no. There's no trust in there. And
I did that yes, didn't I?
there was 6 people backed yes.
I was one of them. What do I win?
You win, I think it's 1.3. Your bet times 1.3 back.
Oh, I don't know what I bet. I just put yes.
Oh, yeah, then probably 10 channel points then. Big wins.
That helped. I won 39.
Oh, there we go.
That'd do. Yeah.
Yes, that's about right. You put 10 on and 139. Ray Birch then coming across the line ahead behind our Tier 6 winner, Sorensen. Dave Wirch getting P2. And let's have a little look at the battle between Cosvisto and Baldetto. This is for the last place on the podium. Oh, Cavisto gets a little bit loose through the bus stop.
Nearly throwing it away.
Nearly threw away the
Hope he
win.
bought a change of underwear.
So there we go then. So let's go through the driver of the day votes.
No, squeaky bum time.
Squeaky bum time there as well. David Long for P1. Let me make sure the poll is on actually, so we can start collecting these votes. It is.
Behan will fall back.
Yeah, so P3 I think. So Long for P1, Van Gastel for P2, Bahan for P3, Allen for P4, Terrell is P5, Sorensen P6, Birch P7, Wirch is P8, Beveridge P9, and I think, yeah, Cavisto in his first race in ACCSimSeries is going to pick up P10 with that 20-second penalty for Paddy Redmond then. Get your votes in the chat. That's how it's going to work. So, yeah, get yourself in the chat. P1 all the way up to P10. And we'll jump back over to our wonderful faces. And we'll get the podium put in. Let's there, last week's names. And let us know your thoughts. Give us your thoughts then for race number 1, Paul.
Yeah, probably could have been a different outcome for Terrell if he hadn't got caught up in those back markers. I think it was a little bit unfortunate there. just shows you, doesn't it? Sometimes you need a little bit of luck on your side, and unfortunately for him, where I think he was trying to make the move on that back marker, his line was different, so he's probably driving it the same way, and unfortunately, then the car didn't agree with what he was trying to do and threw him into the wall. So I reckon we'll probably see him up there in the second race. We'll see a repeat of that. Really pleased with some of the gains we've seen some of the drivers. Unfortunately, I think Redmond undid that hard work with his 20 seconds penalty. Allen's had a good race there. Behan's had a solid. Van Gastel again has also made some good improvements, and the man in 10th as well for his first podium in his first race in AmClass. So some good overtakes. And to be fair to the drivers, lap one wasn't as chaotic as I was hoping it was good, as I thought it would be. Not hoping it was going to be. That's
No,
not what I want.
yeah, definitely not. I think it was a lot cleaner than we expected. Obviously, we had the issue out of Les Combes in the first race. But I mean, there you go. The podium's on the screen. Our driver of the day is going to be P10, the final podium for T6. The P3 on the podium, Jonas Cavisto, then is going to pick up driver of the day for race one. So we're going to head to a short ad break now. Very short ad break as our server swaps over to race number 2. And we'll be back in around about 30 seconds. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still in the server. As here we go. We jumped over to race number 2. And we can have a look at these wonderful cars in their fullest. So we've got a prediction on the way for race number 2. Can Cavisto make it a back-to-back podium in his first race for ACC Sim Series in Tier 6? And we're going to have a little look at that. So that prediction is now live. So you can get yourself back in that. That. Go and back your vote now. Let's have a little look at all these cars on the grid then. Let's sort ourselves out. So we're going to go like that. We're going to go like that. Oh.
That wheel there.
What's that?
The wheel on the one of the cars there was looking a bit funny as it was raised. Right. We'll actually get to do the grid walk properly before the cars move off this time, yeah?
Yeah, hopefully. See how it goes. So here we go then. So our grid walk for race number 2. Ed Terrell in P1. They saw in the I saw in the chat of race chat anyway in between the sessions that he's hoping for a better race in race number 2. So we'll see how that goes. Ed Terrell then a P1. David Long back, like I said, Aston Martin secure in the front row of the grid. Ray Birch and Vita Espello in P3 and 4. P4 being our tier 6 leader. Daniel Durrett and Marcus Haller. Didn't see too much of them in race number 1. Bahan and Sorensen in 7 and 8. Hamiao having to take 2 pit stops here. Van Gastel in P10. Dave Wirch and Andrea Baldetto, who was the championship leader overall, and for tier 6, he finds himself in P13. Gary Allen then, and Carl Beveridge in 13. Gary Allen in 14. Iberg in 15 and Wilden in 16. Jose Neves and Baldwin Louis lockout 17 and 18. Mark Chardons and Jonas Cavisto then, like I said, in his first race series here. Bruce Hopkins in 21st. Eckhart von Glan. We had Christian Smith, didn't we? And there's a car missing there. I'm not too sure who that is. Wiley, Santon, Fernandez, and Smeets. Gibson, McCloskey, Menzies, Nemeth, McGuigan, Redmond, Otley, and Ward. That's how the grid's going to end up. I think you'll find that Nemeth, not too sure how he actually ended up on race number 1, but he's most likely going to find himself in the pits for the start of race number 2. I believe that's how it works. I could be wrong though.
Well, he's showing on the grid position 31, so we shall see, won't we?
We shall see indeed.
So it looks like there's a car. I don't know what the grid's doing, but it looks like there might be a spot missing there. Or
I know Webb's left. I'm not too sure who else has left.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Let me. Can't. Okay. It might just be the game being funny. Yeah. Oh yeah, because I think there were 37 cars. We're missing whoever was 36th. Don't know. Someone's missing. So let's see if we can have a repeat of the start of race 1. Relatively clean. There was a bit of a mayhem at the back, unfortunately. Alice lost out. So I'm sure she'll be looking to avoid a repeat of what happened there. I didn't quite catch what happened at the start. Track temperature is now 21 degrees as well. In the first race it was 34, so the drivers have got to make the necessary PSI adjustments for that. And again, as with the first race, the pit window is applicable, and there is a mandatory pit stop where they have to take a set of new tyres. We look at the man who's in pole, Mr. Ed Terrell, followed by David Long. The guys were battling it hard in the last race. Mr. Terrell unfortunately lost out through the back markers. He'll be wanting to avoid a repeat of that for race 2. Let's see if the likes of Gareth Ronda and Paddy Redmond can make the progress like they did in race 1 as well. And hopefully, if Mr. Redmond can repeat that, whether he can avoid any penalties that puts an end really to his final position.
We'll certainly have to see how it goes.
Nemeth is in the pits now, so we'll be starting from there again. It's a long way.
A long old way, isn't it?
Yeah, especially at the start of the race, you're basically half a lap down by the time you get out.
So the prediction for race number 2 was, can Cavisto get a back-to-back podium in his first race weekend here with ACCSimSeries? And last time I looked, it was it was a full-blown no from the majority.
Well, I voted yes.
3 drivers have gone yes, 5 have gone no now. So
drivers, you mean viewers?
Viewers, sorry, same thing. Most of them are drivers in the community, which is great to see you all here this evening. There's 71 of you in the chat, in the stream.
Not all of you, mind. There's one driver that I could do without being here in the chat. You know who you are. Trying to put comments about me in chat. I see ya. I see ya.
I have a feeling that Gareth has left the race.
Oh.
I think there was a few incidents of deliberate, should we say deliberate death?
Oh.
Involving a couple of other drivers. One driver got disqualified for it, and the other hasn't been disqualified yet. But we'll see how that goes. I think, yeah.
I've not seen that.
I think it was at the end of race number 1. It was involved between Gareth and a certain other driver. I won't say who it is because I don't know if what actually happened. So there's no point me chucking that person under the bus when I don't know if what it says is true. So our drivers then, anyway, moving into race number 2, our drivers have made that Noah's Ark formation and they're coming through the bus stop chicane. Like I said, getting that foot all the way to the floor. I actually didn't save the replay, so I won't even be able to go back and check what happened.
Mine automatically saves.
I'll have to have a visit in the lounge after the race and see what actually happened there, because I have a few comments being made. I've got a barrage of WhatsApp messages from 1 or 2 drivers, so I'm sure I'll hear all about it at the end of the race. But anyway, we're coming on, we're moving on, we're on race 2.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, exactly, and our drivers then putting their foot to the floor to catch up and hitting the...
The Aston's just come flying from nowhere, trying to get...
I have a feeling one, if not both of them, are getting a drive-through. We'll see then. Anyway, so ACCSimSeries Bronze Split, race number 2. And we are green as we head up to Eau Rouge. Like I said, the Aston Martin's getting the turbo lag, but Ed Terrell edges in front of David Long as we go. How are they getting on further back? We're actually nice.
Got a great start and was nearly about to go 3 wide and then thought better of it, which was the smart thing to do. And everybody's made it through without any contact, and MF is making his way out of the pit. Otley's trying to make a move on Alice. By the Smith, but yeah, no carnage yet.
Oh, there is carnage at the front though. Durrett has had a bit of a collision. Hamal's gone into the back of, I believe that's Bahan. So Durrett caught the back of Espello.
We've got, yeah, I mean, is that Homo that's around there? Yeah, it is. Yeah, so he's now got himself going again. He bunched up, but it wasn't like a couple little taps. Oh, there's a car around at the back. Christian Smith is in the AMG, and also Bruce Hopkins has had a moment as well. I don't know what happened, but he's now back on track as Christian Smith turns his AMG round, and off he goes.
Here we go then. We're looking at the rest of the pack as we head through No Name into the first corner. Ed Terrell still leads from David Long. We saw these two get off to stretch their legs at the start of race number 1, managed to pull a 5 or 6 second gap before the pits had started. Have to see if they can have a crack at it again in race number 2. And I mean,
timing to catch up now, don't we? When we hit the so annoying this game. It starts maybe when he crosses that first line or second line, it starts to get in a better position.
So on the board with Ed Terrell then, looking towards the back of David Long. Still nice and flat through Blanchemont, and so is Marcus Hallett in the Audi, which is more important because that Audi can get very, very, very loose through Blanchemont, as we've seen in past races here. Nice and clean through the bus stop this time. Wasn't so much in race number 1. Let's have a little look at how it looks further down the pack as we head into the bus stop. Everyone getting themselves slowed down. Cavesto then finds himself in, I believe, P4 in Tier 6 at the moment, for those that are backing him to get a back-to-back podium.
The Ferrari 555 of Olivier's.
Oh, there's collision further down the back.
He's just spun. He just spun a car around, and also, I think Alice has also hit a car, and then the Mercedes have got spun around and started moving, which is just a bad idea because then other cars had to avoid. But Olivier, at one point, I was like, "What? Who is that?" And trying to make a move off the track, and couldn't quite make it stick. Being very, very aggressive, and then in the final chicane, just carried way more speed and just tapped the car ahead around. So penalties inbound for him, I'm afraid.
This is Wilden, Beveridge, on Wilden down the Kemmel Straight, and he's now got his sights set on Gary Allen, driver who finished P4 in race number 1. See how these guys get on then as we head through the hairpin turn.
Okay, 5-second penalty for car 30 incoming, and it's 10-second penalty for car 16 incoming as well. There are quite a few, but there's only 10 instances to be looking at. It's not quite a few at all. It's quite a small number. Paddy Redmond already up into 25th.
It's a good start from him.
it's a good start. I just want to see if there's any instance with his number on to see whether that might be overdone. Not that I can see so far. So come on, Paddy. I think he's the oldest driver in ACCSS, or if not, one of the oldest drivers in ACCSS.
Line of cars then as they all thinned out now as they head through Blanchemont for the second time. Our Beveridge then probably catches himself an off track there. Would be surprised to see. I was actually surprised not to see any drive-through penalties in race number 1 for track cuts, especially of how predominant that Eau Rouge and Radion can be. As David Long then has got himself past Ed Terrell to get himself a lead of the second race, as well as taking the victory in race number 1. Let's see how David must be very, very comfortable around this track. He's already opened the gap up to just over maybe 1.5 seconds as we go up Eau Rouge Radion for the second time.
That's a lot, isn't it? It makes me think something happened. That's quite a gap already, isn't it?
Well, Haller's fallen off as well, so I'm not too sure, yeah, what's going on around here then. Let's have a look as some more drivers are heading up. Eau Rouge Radion, Cavisto, Chardons is there as well.
Oh, the move was done quite a while ago.
Is it just DT being slow? It's the Ferrari then of McCloskey's all in the toe of Eckhart von Glan. Sends it down the inside into Lecom, gets the job done. But looking behind at Gibson and Chardonnans as well. Gets the overtake.
Sorry, the move was done at the end of the Camel Straight by the looks of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or was Eckhart von Glan then on the exit of Lecom, catches the dirt, flings it back onto the track.
Yeah, Terrell doesn't really, kind of fights it, but doesn't really. Maybe he's just happy to be followed rather than be chased. Let's see if he can stick to the back of him. Gibson in 20th, on Blonde 19th. Where's the man that was in 3rd last time? Where's he? Van Gastel finds himself in 8th. Sonson 9th. He's fallen back a little bit. Neves finds himself in 10th. Where is the man that got the podium last time in? So he's coming in 4th in class. Sits down in 16th at the moment. No. Still plausible that he could. He's not that far back. No, he's really not. So still possible we could get a repeat at the podium.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely still on.
Yeah, a few more penalties incoming. 10 seconds for car 22. Total of 15 seconds of penalties. So the overtake I mentioned that was off track, that has been caught by the stewards. So 2 separate penalties there for Olivier. So we're getting 15 seconds in total incoming and a couple more under investigation.
Good to see them. It's slowly knocking down these penalty numbers. Like we said earlier on at the start of the pre-show, earlier on, is these drivers are finding more confidence with each other. There's obviously silly mistakes still fitting in here and there, but the pit window opens then, and we'll have to see how many of these drivers, especially in this big pack here, it's pretty much runs from P6 down to car number 9 in P17. In one very long line as 197 there, yellow flag through Blanchemont. It looks like it's going to be one of our first deaths there. Who is 197? I recognise the number. Philip Menzies, they're not having it such a good introduction into ACCSimSeries as Jonas Cafisto.
It's quite a bunch of cars all the way from 16th, I would say, all the way to 6th, and even Behan's not that far away from that group, a little bit up ahead the road, so it's quite a train of cars.
Yeah, it definitely is, and the whole Tier 6 podium is in this pack. Like,
Yes,
you can
it
see
is,
Spello and Sorensen are fighting for position further back here, and then we've got Baldetto, and then a big old like gaggle of cars further down from 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20th. So see how it goes as we head through the left-right chicane.
People are saying they can hardly hear me.
That's why I've turned you up.
Oh, okay.
You're also now being well muffled. I do this subtly in the background. I read chat. As
Okay,
we go.
I'm just saying, there's no need with that attitude.
I've not got the attitude. It's just a quick off the cuff comment, man. Like, chill out. Don't need you screaming at us. Don't need you screaming at us.
Hello, Rathchild.
I'm surprised no one's mentioned that apparently I don't sound like myself. I think that must just be a Discord thing because.
No, you don't. You don't sound like you don't. You sound completely different.
I don't know. I'll have to listen back to the broadcast later.
That's unfortunate.
And he gets a tap as well.
No, come on, you've got to be better than that. You can't keep ramming cars that are slow ahead of you.
I think it's hindered himself. I think it's hindered himself more than helped himself, as Van Gastel's now all over the back of this 133 Lexus. The Lexus looks down the inside.
I thought he was going to plough into him again, taking a slightly different line. This is where he's just got to be not so aggressive. Just wait. You're in the slipstream. You're in the Lexus. You've got this. Just don't force it. Do not force the move. There's no need to.
The Porsche there behind Van Gastel getting really loose, and that's going to open the door for Neves behind. Oh, look at that slipstream. Look at the toe. He goes into the inside then. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers into late com? I have a feeling it's going to be the 17 Porsche.
Nearly into the back of him again. He has to take evasive manoeuvres. Like he worries me when he's behind another car.
It's Mr. Aggressive, I mean.
Yeah, but it's just like, just because you're behind a car doesn't mean that you can brake that a little bit later. Actually, you've got to be braking early. Oh, no, Vitta's spun. He's spun. Oh, there's
a car behind.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
Is it Neves?
That might have been.
Oh, it's Van Gastel. Van Gastel was the one that spun behind.
But then he seemed to drive back on track. But I think that's put.
Have a little look at the replay here.
Just like the driver.
Oh no, he got a tap from the McLaren. I think it's Andrea Baldetto behind, and then comes back. Yeah,
there wasn't really much you could do about that.
And then gets loose and spins it around. Then, so we have to see what the damage to the leaderboard that has done. Yeah, I think Baldetta behind was the one that catches him. See how that works out as the leaderboard catches itself up then. So, who are the big losers there? Gary Allen was the one that was caught as the passenger.
So, Coivisto is now up into 13th. He was a bit of a gainer, but he's still in 4th in class. So that's who I was worried about. I put a bet on him to finish up podium again. I want it.
We're two sides of the wrong coin here because I've put it on to not having it. So I've been the one that's
makes things a bit more makes a bit more interesting. Bordetto looks to it's because Vitta has now pitted. I'm guessing because of that incident potentially. So he comes in from around about 10th, 11th, something like that. Anyway, I lost track. 11th, I think he was in. So he's now in 14th. As there's a cut, we've missed the other drivers pitting completely. So. It's been pretty exciting so far. Haller's in the pits as well. And Missile from race 1. So Johnson just needs to. I don't know why. Like he just needs to ease off. He just needs because I've been saying in chat, like when I'm following a car, I brake before my markers because if I've got the pace on them, I've got the pace on them. Like you don't just because you're following another car doesn't mean you need to brake the latest because that's no good if you make contact, spin you out, spin them out. Like it's just not.
Yeah, it's just not on really, is it? Essentially,
it's got to be just got more care. It's just needed really. Just don't be so aggressive. Where's my right? I find it weird that the mouse wheel doesn't work with the broadcast app.
It doesn't.
Where is the man that was in the pits? Who started from the pits? Where Nemeth is currently in 27th. He's in the pit clearing his mandatory. He's now leaving, so we'll see where he comes out. He's got might get into the top 20 by the end of this race if he can keep it nice and clean. Last time he got some penalties, which undid his power. So we've got Bordetto, who's currently 7. He's got 10 seconds. Durrett, who finds himself in 3rd, he's got 5. So when they come in, and so has McCloskey, he's got 10 as well. So that's good for my man getting 3rd in the class, because he is 3rd in class at the moment before the pits. This is looking good. And McCloskey with a 10-second penalty, that takes them out of the picture. So,
Car 20's got a drive-through for speed in the pit lane then, so I'm not too sure who that is.
Ouch. That is Fernandez.
He's on his way out now then.
So, yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on my man. Where's the man that I said was going? Ray Birch finds himself in 7th. He's in the pits currently, clearing his mandatory. Started 3rd. In race 1, he finished. Where did he finish? 7th. So he potentially is going to perform better the second race. He had that moment, didn't he? Or Rouge, didn't he? He
Yeah.
went into the barrier by the pit. So hopefully, if you can avoid a repeat of that, he can improve his finishing position. So car 118. Corey Visto has found himself in clearing his mandatory pit stop. I think he's on the move again. So let's see if he can get that podium in the class.
Trying to find this pack of cars. In between, I think they're a mixture of back markers and the leaders. Hamel now a lap down on the leader.
Are we gonna see a repeat of race 1? Terrell was what, 3.5 seconds off Mr. Long.
Yeah, and then Durrett is only a second behind Terrell.
If he gets on the back of him, I just let him go, because you got 5 seconds. Well, I mean, obviously it'll clear in the pits, but I wouldn't worry too much about him. He's got 5 seconds.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes.
McCloskey, Smith, Otley all making their way out, because the mandatory number 1 next to their name is cleared, so it means they're leaving. So let's have a look. Where is he?
David Long then comes into the pits from the lead.
So Nemeth does have the fastest lap of the race with 2:19.7 currently, but finds himself all the way down in 30th. He'll move up, because there's a couple of cars in the pits at the moment, so he'll jump up a little bit. And then we've got a lot of the guys at the top 12 up. Some of them now started to pit with 5.5 minutes on the pit window remaining. So.
Yeah, probably one of the worst tracks to get a start from pit lane penalty in, but at the end of the day, if you don't get that accumulation of BWP, then you don't have to start from the pit lane, and you can show us your pace across both races. And that's what Nemeth would have wanted to have done, but unfortunately, like I said, picked up quite a substantial amount of penalties. There's 2 cars, 77 and car number 8 by the looks of it. Both dead up Eau Rouge, Radion. 77 just about to start getting moving. 8 slowly jittering on as well.
So we've got Von Glan, who's in the AMS, Gibson is in the AMS, Ward is in the AMS, and McGuigan in the AMS, all in the pits at the moment. So this will be interesting to see where car 118 comes out. But he's got 2 cars ahead of him at the moment. I think Von Glan is now making their way out.
I think he's still going to be 4th in class, about 7 or 8 seconds behind Baldetto, but Paddy Redmond is putting a charge on Baldetto at the moment. Again, an Aston Martin in fine form around this wonderful track at Spa-Francorchamps. And he makes contact with Baldetto into the Stockton chicane.
Paddy!
That is going to spend Baldetto spinning. On the positive side, though, let's see where Corvisto is, and I think Corvisto's managed to get himself ahead of, as Craig Gibson's got himself a stop-go 34 speed in the pit lane. That is going to be a big oof there then.
You hate to see it.
He has. So
Jonas could find himself back on the podium. Paddy Redmond could have done him a favour. Paddy needs to work on those clean overtakes. He's obviously got some pace, but it's the racecraft which is lacking just a little bit.
Oh, so here we go then. This is the battle for podium between Cavisto and Von Glam. Von Glam, the Bentley in front of him, going into Les Combes currently, and Cavisto's in P4 in class at the moment. But Von Glam has just come out of the pits. He's got to hold on for 10 more minutes, but those tyres are going to be a lot colder than the Aston Martin's tyres on Cavisto's 118 Garage 59 car, and it's whether...
Well, he doesn't really need to make the move because Gibson's got to stop and go, and he's ahead. He's ahead, isn't he? Of these lot, or is that the live timing not updating?
I'm not too sure. So who was there? Where's Sorensen gone? Has Sorensen disconnected, or is he not pitted yet?
Oh,
He's in the pits now. He's in the pits at the moment.
Right. Okay.
So Sorensen is in the lead of tier 6. Then you've got Gibson, but with that stop and go first. He's also sped into the pits and also not cleared his pit stop. So Gibson's having an absolute mare here because he's not cleared his mandatory pits. He's sped into the pits.
He's now on his way out. He's just into the hairpin of the pits. So let's see where the other guys are. The P11's coming down into Huzanam, Eusebio, something like that. It's coming into the bus stop now. Chicane. So basically we need.
Yeah, go on.
Well, Gibson's out of the picture.
Yeah, Gibson's, I mean, he's going to get a 130-second penalty either way here because he's not even cleared his mandatory.
I mean, Ron Gland's got to be overtaken basically here, but for our man to get into third, and you know he is close, and whether he can make the move nice and cleanly. There's some blue flags coming up on the marshals as well.
I think it's for Menzies, the yellow AMG that's about 6 or 7 cars behind these. These guys managed to get past him going through Blanchimont. See where these guys all filter out. Ed Terrell then is down in P2. Oh, that's because Daniel Durrett is only just in the pits at the moment, and he was in the lead of the race for a short period of time.
Terrell's P3, Long's in P2. Yeah.
I think Durrett's had he had that 5-second penalty, didn't he? But is he only just... How was that happen? He's only just pulling into the pits.
Yeah.
Oh, was he in the lead? Oh, was he in the... No, was he in the...
Yeah.
Was he so far in the lead from the... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, these guys have only just gone past.
Fox as well. I don't know if you clocked the edge reverse. So
no, I didn't catch
as well
that.
as oh, and there's a car off there in the background.
Car number 19, I believe that's Philip Menzies. Oh, no, it's not. It's not Philip Menzies. Who's car number 19? Car number 19 is Marcus Haller then. He's off at the end of the Kemmel Straight. Let's jump back 10 seconds to have a little look at how that happens. Oh, he's not off. It's another car that's off then. Not too sure who it was, but someone was off at the end of the Kemmel Straight. And Marcus Haller, either way, come back from the replay, and he's put himself in the wall through the hairpin turn as well. And he's not having the greatest of races here. So, he spun again through No Name this time. That could be race over then from Marcus Haller, I assume. Yeah, he has returned to the pit stop then. So that's going to move everyone up a position, and let's see who that affects mostly. So Allen might find himself... Gary Allen's going to find himself most likely up into P10.
Was Haller?
Oh, was it? Oh, he's just had a mare of the first sector then, essentially.
So he lost it into the corner. Then just it was on the grass. Did basically a loop the loop. Poor re-entry as well, just to add to things. Which through the yellow Aston, I don't know who that was. Like just confused them, which is fair enough. You've got a car just driving on track at you. So yeah, a bit of a mare there for Heller.
I'm not too sure how this has happened here, but it looks like David Long's found himself about 30 seconds in the pit stops, like between him and Ed Terrell. So a fantastic drive here from David Long.
So there's a few. 10 seconds for car 21, 43 as well that have come in. So Yeah. This battle for the last podium spot is still on as well in the AM class. So that Bentley. But Isberg's also in this battle as well now. So Isberg is all over the back of Junas, who just kind of missed his braking point there into the corner. He's gone wide there as well into the corner. He's probably just maybe trying a little bit too hard, perhaps. You can overdrive the car when you get a little bit carried away. We've all done it. But see,
we've all done it.
we've all done it. Birch finds himself in 14th all the way back there.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a shocker so far. I mean, qualified P3.
Please don't make the move. It's not on. It's not on. That's it. That's it. Just sit behind. Oh, got a bit of a wobble on that Ferrari, which puts him into the jaws of Beveridge.
Oh, these guys all fighting it out for position on track. I mean, they're different classes, but they're still all willing to fight for position. And let's have a little look. 97 is there, and 20. Oh, yeah, so 97. The leader is going, making his way downtown.
Birch has got on the inside there, and Manny, I think it's Manny Stick, but
Birch just spun.
Oh no, he's spun.
Birch just spun then, going through the right-hander there. Trying to push it on the inside where there's just no grip, and as I said earlier on, David Long's actually opened up a 23-second gap to Terrell.
Has he managed that?
I have no idea. I mean, the lap times have been similar. I mean, he was a second quicker than Terrell last lap, but actually David Long's just put in a personal best, 220.1.
Yeah,
absolutely flying.
The Ray Birch has fallen away down now to 17th or 18th even. So after that spin, Bordetto go a little bit deep. That puts him under a bit of pressure from Beveridge by the looks of it.
Bello closing in on Neves. Both in these very similar coloured cars. Anyone would call them teammates if they're in the same make and model.
Quite a good battle for 7th and 8th, different classes, but they're all over the back of each other. As Vitor is letting him know that he's there. Oh, and Neves lets him past.
There we go, the tier 5 driver thinking, I don't want any of that. Feel free.
Isberg is now in 4th in the AM class as well. So, yeah, that puts my bet to bed so far.
3 minutes to go then. Where is our leader? So we're probably going to have...
I bet 40 coins as well. That's really right.
40 coins, man!
Yeah, well, I was like, yeah.
I'll play big...
once up.
What
am I going to do?
Yeah, I played big money and put down 5k on him not getting it. So, I mean, go big or go home is how it works here at ACCSimSeries. 5k wife coins all over Calvisto not getting his back-to-back podium. I think he more... was rewarded in race number 1 from other drivers making silly mistakes and pushing the limits a little bit, and that's what got him the podium. Not to say he's not good enough to get there, but it's definitely something to aim for in future races, especially next week when we head to Laguna Seca for an eventful race there. It's going to be a very hot one as well, looking at the weather.
Is it Laguna Seca, is it?
Yeah, Laguna Seca. And then we
I'm not. I tell you, this season's had, some of my not so favourite tracks.
Have you seen the tracks for next season, by the way? We talked about it in the staff chat the other day.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. I think okay, except for the first one.
Don't give it away. Don't give them away. But yeah, I mean, they're all right.
Except for the first one. Yeah, I think that's probably my least favourite out of the lot. No, that's actually probably a lie. It's not terrible. Yeah, I was okay. I was happy with the next season's track choices than this. So, yeah.
They're just going to say, bring your brollies for season 5. For the silver and gold, for the silver and gold drivers. We're gonna,
yeah, I'll probably stick with the Boatley.
Get your oars out. But anyway, Victor Espero then is in P7. What's happened to Neves here? Because Neves was on the back of him last lap, and he's now fallen down to P11. We've taken all our eyes off the race, and it's all gone to pot a little bit. So David Long coming round for, yeah, the penultimate lap. We'll have another lap after this. Ed Terrell, P2, 24 seconds behind with Andy Bahan in P3. Let's have a little look. See, there's no real battles on track anymore. Everyone's sort of thinned out.
Well, yeah, Isberg's only half a second off Neves, but Neves has had a bit of a bad lap, hasn't he? So,
Yeah, I
Isberg
mean, Neves put in a 2 minute. Oh, Isberg's actually passed Neves by the looks of it. I just don't think the timing's caught up. And Neves just going backwards and backwards now. He done a 2:38 last lap.
You're right. He has. A bit of a mare, isn't he? Car doesn't look damaged though. I don't.
The leader is on final lap now.
There we go then.
There's
So David Long
no
heading round for
damage.
heading round for what surely could be here a back-to-back win here in round 3. And like I said, it's getting to the point now where points mean promotion, and David Long's going to pick up his 3rd race victory if all goes well in the final lap here. Like I said, 3 race wins in a series in the gold split mean you instantly get banned. You still get to compete in the season, but you are classed as one of your banned drivers. So one driver's already met that criteria this season. After just 4 races, they've won 3 of them. So
Von Glan got his first podium first in race 1, didn't he? So he's on track to get his 2nd one.
did Von Glan finish? Von Glan finish 3rd?
Finished 2nd, did he, in the AM class?
I'm having a little look now. No, it was Sorensen, Wirch, and Kavitsto.
Right. Okay. Well.
Here we go then. David Long then just going for his final lap of the race. 5-second penalty for 3-2-1. That's Ray Birch. 10-second penalty even for 3-2-1. That's Ray Birch on the back of Van Gastel.
Olivier Hermo's all over the back of Beveridge by the looks of it. 17th. Oh yeah, we've got them on stream now. So Olivier gets past. Still quite a gaggle of cars here, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. 720 then picking up a drive-through for track limits. Who is 720? Oh, that's Nemeth at the back of the order.
Ah, and does all the hard work.
I mean, he was still P30 out of 33. It's still 32 that are still on track driving.
The leader has finished the race.
There we go then. David Long crosses the line to take race number 2. Back-to-back wins then for David Long in that Spa-Francorchamps. Fine driving from him, absolutely
I've just
fantastic.
been watching Von Glan, who's currently in the 3rd spot of the AM class. He ran a little bit wide. He's put himself a little bit under pressure from Isberg. He's just got to keep it calm, not sacrifice any speed coming out here. Don't hit any gravel traps, and 3rd spot should hopefully be his.
Sorensen then is going to cross the line to take tier 6 victory at Spa-Francorchamps. That's going to be both our winners. We're just going to wait for these guys to cross the line and see how much the penalty from Paddy Redmond separates the field before we start our vote for driver of the day.
Yeah, he's probably going to fall out of the top 10 by looking at the
Yeah, I think it's going to move Isberg into the top 10 is all I wanted to check. And it will then. So Eckhart von Glan comes over for the podium. We're going to move over to ourselves. Post-race podium. Let's have a little look over here. We're back. It's us.
We are.
And we're going to vote for driver of the day. So if you want to vote for David Long, it's P1. For Ed Terrell, it's P2. For Andy Bahan, it's P3. For Jacob Sorensen, it's P4. For Daniel Durrett, it's P5. For Michael Wilden, it's P6. Vita Espello is P7. Not Paddy Redmond, sorry. Gary Allen is going to be P8. Eckhart von Glan is going to be P9. And Oscar Iberg is going to be P10 then for your vote for driver of the day. And who entertained you the most there? Paul, let me
Who
know.
entertained me the most?
Who was the most entertaining driver? Not who was the best driver, who was the most entertaining driver?
I'd have to say probably Redmond's got to be up there. Sorensen, because he's a bit risque. You know, he's going to
Okay.
potentially cause death at any moment. Yeah. What about you?
I quite enjoyed, like I said, the drive from. I mean, it wasn't entertaining, but there was a solid drive from David Long to have that sort of have that gap from nowhere essentially.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it wasn't that anywhere near that big, was it? Before the pit
Yep.
stops. It's quite remarkable how he managed that.
yeah, it certainly was, and
I mean, Behan had a solid drive there in third.
yeah, the great drive.
I think Mr. Birch will be a little bit disappointed in both races. You know, he started third and finished first in the second race, but in the second one he's finished 20th. So I don't think he'll be too pleased with his own performance there.
Well, there we go then. So driver of the day for race number 2 is going to be David Long. The majority of the votes there for in chat this evening.
Can't vote for P14 driver of the
It's
day.
top 10, I'm afraid. And let me put it up here. Cavisto didn't get himself a second podium. So, nope is the answer to that prediction. There you go. You've had your payouts. Well, thank you very much for being here with us for round 3 of ACC Sim Series. If you've been interested in what's been going on, fancy signing up, the Discord link is there in the chat for you now. Click on that, get yourselves in the Discord, follow the welcome Paul rules, and get yourself on track with us. Thank you very much for being here this evening, Paul. Appreciate you being here with me as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
That's right. We're going to see you here next week. So we'll be back tomorrow. Lars and Julian are going to bring you the silver split action from Spa as well. And then Gareth and a new commentator, or myself, depending if that new commentator is available, will be here with you on Sunday as well. And then we'll be back next week, 7:20 for round 4 at Laguna Seca. See you later.
Count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero. With fearless thoughts, emotions swirl. I want